Here, right, we're going live, boys. So here we are. We are finally going to be starting on this first game process. This is Feint Gaming versus Weebtunnel Tactics, and we will be going here on this very first mid here. So watching both demos, Ali very fast. He's going to deny off this pack. No, he won't actually fully. So this is going to be pretty equal on both demos. Bit of an early aggression from Mentalex, but ultimately it's going to come down to what each team's soldiers can do. But Salinters and his other soldier buddy is going to be taking a lot of height, taking a lot of position, dealing out a lot of damage, and so far, none of these Feint Gaming players have really managed to get off this low ground. They've got a frag, but they've taken absolutely so much damage, and now Ignis comes in, raining down damage, and along with Jinxie, they will manage to take down Seeds, but the rest of their team have had to back up all the way to second. They had some good bombs, some good damage, but they didn't quite clean up fast enough for my liking.
Yeah, it's impressive how they were able to ball up like that around the medic. Let the medic die and still win the mid. I don't know how they accomplished that.
It's true, but we will have Salenters now almost potentially, yeah, overstaying is welcome on second, so they do have this uber advantage, but it isn't up yet, so Ali and his pals will be taking second basically for free here, and they will be ending up in a bit of an uber disadvantaged situation, so this is going to be our first time to see how Weebtunnel deal with some of Feint's strats. You know, it doesn't seem to be anything particularly crazy. We'll be seeing a lower push from the side of Weebtunnel, but it's a double soldier bomb immediately, just raining down death. Mentalex is absolutely slaughtering. There's so much damage being dealt. Bloodus goes down as well, and Jinxie looks to be taken down as well. This is just Morrow with a solo Uber towards lobby, not even with any friends to hook up with. Finally, G1 managed to get back to Salenters and Ignis, but during all this time, no, exactly. Uber only now gets forced by the Feint Gaming players. Kunu getting taken down right at the end of this, so this is looking absolutely fantastic for Feint. Looks like a much stronger team already, and with Salenters getting absolutely pounded by Amarok, this is going to be a full Uber advantage for Seeds.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, it was good on Morrow not to pop there when she was being pressured. She was able to get out and use the Uber defensively, but unfortunately, too many of them died in that, and they were able to let Seeds get that Uber. So now they're going to go ahead and push in onto last.
Ooh.
They're up in that nest area. They're taking a lot of spam damage. Bloodus and Morrow go down. It looks like a lot of the Feint players flooding into last here. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to hold up.
No, that's exactly raining down so much damage. I mean, when you take down Morrow that quickly, you can just, you know, you can just play so slow, play so much around your heels, and it's almost like a textbook last push from Feint there. I mean, yeah, they lost a couple players, but that's really about as good as you can expect on a map like Process. So it's about 2.5 minutes in, and we're already seeing a round on the side of Feint. So, you know, it isn't time for Weebtunnel Tactics to get too worried just yet, but they're going to have to be thinking about how they're going to adapt a little bit, maybe just step up their game just a bit. But second mid, we have aggressive soldiers. We have Samsky taking a lot of position, taking a lot of damage onto Mentalex. He's forcing the Weebtunnel Tactics team to play much slower. They have to heal up much more towards stroke, which is allowing the Feint team to actually take a lot of position on the right and the height as well. Mentalex and Ignis both go down, and Jinxie as well. This is just, again, another absolutely destructive mid for Feint. I mean, Morrow will live. Does look like she will escape with Bloodus, but that, you know, another mid where everything goes the way of Feint.
Yeah, Samsky really, I mean, with the brain play there, because, I mean, he didn't have to really even do anything other than just go back behind them, and they spent the entire time looking for him and not really holding their ground. Still, I think.
Oh, big bomb in from Samsky. That's Morrow absolutely pounded into the dirt. That's a drop right there. So that's all he needs to do for his team now, and the rest of Feint can just back up onto second. They can chill, they can wait, they have their Uber. And it's going to be so difficult for Weebtunnel to be able to deal with this full Uber. We've already seen how confident Feint is moving with this Uber advantage into last. I mean, you know, there is going to be a defensive sniper and a heavy. Heals are now up, but as long as they can get through this doorway, it should be looking for another fantastic little Uber. Ali jumps in with that first flash of the Uber. They're locking so many of these Weebtunnel Tactics teams in their spawn. They can just more or less just pick them off one by one. It just looks like they're doing exactly that. Salenters is getting absolutely rolled by Sorex. It's brutal, and yeah, I mean, 6 players versus 3. Absolute destruction on another Feint last push, and this looks to be, yeah, that's going to be a second round for Feint.
Wow. Now, Sorex is really showing through here. Like I said, I wasn't able to see the games from earlier today, but I'm really impressed with Sorex just showing up here. Like, he's actually getting the frags. You can see his confidence in the way that he's playing, in a way that I haven't seen him on LAN play like this before.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence is a big thing in TF2. That, you know, that trust in yourself to go forward and just hit those shots. You know, it can help you play, but it can help with the enemies. You know, they'll start to think that, yeah, they are going to hit those shots. They are going to be making these things happen. So in order to try and get some of that confidence themselves, Weebtunnel Tactics, they're going to be bringing a fight to Feint this time, but as much as they're dealing all of this damage, they can't even clean up this alley frag. And, you know, finally, Ignis does manage to get some damage down. He will actually pick up both Kunu and Ali, so things are going a little bit better for Weebtunnel. And they do have a lot of height on point. This should be looking good as long as Samsi can just walk behind. And no, he will get cleaned up. So as long as they can play together, they should just be maybe taking a mid, but no.
No, Feint re-pushed that really well. I mean, they had a lot of health on the side of Weebtunnel, but Feint re-pushed that effectively. They were able to catch them out on their own, and now they're chasing it all the way back onto second.
Yeah, no, Morrow and Jinxie literally just ran all the way onto last, and it almost looked like Silentes was going to be kind of hung out to dry a little bit there, but ultimately Feint were happy just to take the mid and play this little bit kind of equal Ubers just for the second.
Sill's going in for the high bomb. Distraction jump there, gets back out of choke. Sneaky.
Yeah, so nothing too crazy. It's good that he did manage to live there. It's kind of one of those bombs where it would have been incredibly difficult to do anything from that kind of jump. So, you know, he can live. It is going to be 6v6 equal Ubers, and we do have a sniper on the side of Samsi. So, I said very, I was going to say, big fan of sniping. That's Silentes getting absolutely decimated. Bullet straight through the skull. So, that's going to make this hold-on choke just a little bit more difficult, especially with Mentalex kind of, you know, being so fearful of their sniper moving all the way through far right. This team has to play so far back. They have to play all the way towards point, and these headshots can just keep ringing out. Bloodist takes another one to the dome. Look at them. They're playing so far back. They have to play behind the point because they know that all of this ground has been taken by Feint. Now,
they don't have any soldiers to get in there. Ignis is kind of backing off into IT, isn't really looming on them, so there's no real threat to them right now. They can just walk right into second.
No, exactly. That's it. Feint will go all the way in, and finally Ignis does try and do something. He will force off the Uber with a nice jump, so this is a cue for Feint Gaming to surge forward, get this Uber force out, which they have now done, and try and back out through this choke. As long as they don't get chased too far by this Uber, they should be okay, and especially with Samsi still sniping. I mean, you know, sometimes people say it's worth pushing into a sniper like that, but it doesn't take a lot for him to just watch that one stationary angle and get at least some kind of body shot.
Absolutely, and especially, like you said, once you get into their head and they believe that you're going to hit the shot, it's a huge difference.
Ooh. That's it. That's what you want. Yeah, nice little bomb from Silentes, and paired up with Jinxie, some nice little aggression. They're going to be going all the way through choke, actually, or at least starting to pave their path a little bit, but Feint don't seem to want to give it up at all. I mean, they're bunching up themselves on choke. They're not really taking that much damage, and they're actually cleaning up every single frag they're finding. And yeah, you know, Mora and Bloodist, they saw that from a mile away. They just run for the hills.
But we're seeing some confusion and lack of commitment, are we not?
It does seem like, yeah, a little bit. It seemed like Feint shouldn't have really been able to walk through that choke like that, especially as bunched up as they were, but didn't seem like they quite had the projectile classes to deal with it. But
Silentes on his own.
Yeah, I guess, you know, they must have been afraid of the little bit of Uber advantage, which as of now is going to be completely equal. So this will be an Uber trade. A lot of flashing all around, and Ali's going to be taken down right at the end of this. So definitely not the same absolutely dominating Feint last here. And I think Weebtunnel Tactics are going to be trying to walk forward and try and get something done. They don't want to, you know, waste this opportunity. They want to see if they can actually get some kind of position onto second, but two crispy rockets take down Mentalex without a demo. It's so difficult to really lock people out of a choke point. So, you know, it's so difficult. It's such a judgment call at this point. Do you push? Do you go? Silentes and Bloodist seem to want to, but they're just taking so much damage on this like rollout. You've seen them. You know, they've walked in and out of rollout about 3 times, and they don't know what they can.
Ali is denying everything. He's got the control of that area. Just could not push out of it.
No, exactly. So, you know, definitely Ali is a veteran demo. He's won Prem, he's won lands, he's won more or less whatever you want. So definitely showing that he can lock down a choke point as good as, you know, almost anyone in the game at this point. So this will be an equal Uber situation. This will be an opportunity for Kunu to be sniping now. You know, he gets his time in the sun, and we do have a spy. We do have a spy in the form of Jinxie, trying to avoid every tiny little bit of movement. He will actually, seems in almost the perfect position. He can't wait too long. He can't just let the sniper peek, but he's going to go forward and read like a book. I mean, Seeds, you know, he clearly learned something with his time on 7 because he just knew instantly.
I'd be very embarrassed if he dropped to his 5 because that is not what I predicted.
Absolutely not. So now we're going to be seeing some more aggression. You know, Ali and Menti getting frags of their own. We still have this Kunu sniper. He's able to watch a lot of angles, but not really get anything too important so far. And sorry, completely within all of that, there was actually enough pressure to be forcing off Morrow. So that's just the worst thing that could have possibly happened there, really. I mean, it's almost kind of a, you know, you can almost argue it's not as bad to kind of drop, because then at least, you know, you have time and you know you're absolutely kind of you know, you can almost just kind of go forward and, you know, just see if you can get some kind of force of your own. I don't know, but this is going to be this full Uber advantage again from Feint. Ali jumps in, getting denied a lot by this heavy, but Mentalex goes down. I mean, there's going to be no stickies on point. They still have a sentry gun to deal with, but that's not going to be too much of a problem. And with Salentas getting fragged in this corner, like, they just have so much time to just wait to heal up. They know these spawns aren't going to come in time. They just need to deal with this gun, which they are, and it's going to be 3 lowly Weebtunnel Tactics players now with a spawning Mentalex as Feint move up towards point. They start pressuring it. They're getting a lot of time on it. They're getting some good frags. They're forcing Weebtunnel to try and get to the point. It's not all over yet, though. These spawns are coming in for Weebtunnel, and actually it might even look like Morrow's going to win. Sorry, live here.
Yeah, that was really impressive. Ali was really trying to draw some people away there with his spam, but he wasn't able to get enough of the players distracted, and they were too focused on the point. So it was a good try to pull people away from the point, get their attention away from the point so that their scout could cap it, but Weebtunnel were on it. They were paying a lot of attention to the cap point, and they were able to take down the important people and push out. That was a really good lasso.
Yeah, speaking of on it, they'll have to be really on it if they want to use this Uber advantage. It's only about 20%. They aren't going to be peeking around this choke point up, but I feel like they can, based on their posturing, I think they know they've waited just a little bit too long. They can't guarantee this is a full, this is enough of an Uber advantage to really push in on. So instead, they're going to go for a nice little Salenta sack, and unfortunately, that's 0 damage hit there on Seed. So yeah, you know, we have some more time. We have some more time to see Samsky sniping. I mean, you know, through one form or another, I think it's going to be, you know, a full game of sniper for at least some of the Feint players. And again, just, you know, they're making it work. That headshot and clean up on Mentalex. Just, you know, so many times we've seen Weebtunnel kind of lose their demo in really, really just poor situations, and it's just so difficult to hold this these kind of choke points without him. So they're going to be on last again. They will force off this Feint Uber. They will be dropping Ignis from this Uber. Only now does Morrow use. It's going to be a Salenta solo, but it just doesn't seem to be any players near him to do anything. He might maybe get one of the soldier, and he won't even get that. Absolutely disastrous. And now the repush from Feint comes in. They're starting to move. Ali's starting to put down some damage. These soldiers are trying to get onto them. The Weebtunnel soldiers are trying to make things happen, but
they're not having enough presence here. Like, they all kind of playing in the background, even those with heals were just not getting in. It was Ale and 1 scout, Ale and 2 scouts, but the whole team was kind of playing around in lobby. And when you're not all in, it makes it far too easy for that defending team to just pick you off.
Yeah, I mean, definitely sloppy play coming from Feint, and, you know, maybe this is the opportunity Weebtunnel will need to try and make a couple things work for them. Again, they will be taking second. They are going to be playing with an Uber disadvantage. Seeds will be getting it before too long. It'll be interesting to see whether they're where they're going to be going for. I mean, IT is a classic, you know. A lot of teams tend to use out of IT to try and see if they can catch in the enemy medic. A lot of teams will sometimes, if it's big enough, they'll kind of try to walk choke to see how far they can go before, you know,
Sniper sees them.
well, before someone sees them, before they get bombed, before they have an opportunity to clean up someone. But actually, Feint aren't going to be making the most out of this Uber advantage either. I think they're a little bit happy with their sniper to just play even, you know, that they've got a pick class, and they do have 2 rounds to their name, so they've got time.
I just keep feeling this uncertainty from Salentas. I don't know if you see the same thing, but I keep feeling this uncertainty with him where he doesn't want to commit to things. I don't know if it feels like he doesn't maybe have the trust there. Maybe the team hasn't been around together long enough, but he's out on his own, you know.
So definitely, it's a tricky situation to be in, you know, dealing with a sniper when you just don't really have that same support from you, and this is just an exact, like, copy of everything we saw before. This is just, I mean, like, this sniper, he just gets to stand completely motionless. Yeah. There's just no pressure at all. He's going to body shot Jinxie, and yeah, now the Uber's going to come out, but it just seems way too late to really be able to do anything other than hopefully manage to just about get out alive. But Mentalex, he will actually just about escape with his life. He's incredibly lucky there, but they have to give up the point for it. But the rest of Feint actually, yeah, they don't seem to have any interest in just settling with second. They're going to at least move towards lobby. They're going to try and take this fight on the far right, see if they can deal with at least one of these Weebtunnel soldiers. I mean, the rest of the team is going to come here. I don't think it's going to be a full push, but I mean, like, this relentless pressure from Feint, I think, is what, you know, Weebtunnel's finding it incredibly difficult to deal with.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that their momentum has been really working for them. They're able to push even the times where they haven't had a medic, the times where they've had, you know, a few players down, they still push as a cohesive unit, and it's impossible when...
Oh my god.
They said, oh my
Ali's absolutely pounding. This is just like, this is brutal at this point. Again, Weebtunnel find themselves with only 3 players to the 6
wow.
of Feint. I mean, eventually they'll trade 1 for 1, but that's not really going to matter. They have ×5 on point. That's going to be a third round. I mean, that just came down to some just insane pipes.
Yeah. That was a DM fest more than anything else. But it's what I was saying about how commitment. When you have a team constantly pressuring you and you're seeing Salentis out on his own quite a lot. And you can tell when he's skeptical and you can tell when he's backing off because his team isn't there.
Definitely can. I mean, this mid, definitely Weebtunnel are going to be doing something a little bit different. They will be running Sniper to mid. I mean, that might not be particularly good if they lose their demo immediately. I mean, they kind of have to stick towards choke anyway, and yeah, Salentis is going to get taken down, but yes, a headshot rings out from Ignis, so suddenly they have a bit more of a chance, but not whilst Sorax is just running around two-shotting everyone. I mean, Ignis has to make some kind of play here, but...
And that's a wipe.
It is. It is, in fact, a wipe. I almost thought things might go a little bit well, but it just seems so difficult for Weebtunnel to, like, get a foot in on this mid. I mean, you know, shout out to the sniper play. Like, it makes sense. You know, if you're going to stand basically in choke for the entire mid because you're taking so much damage, why not play with a sniper, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really, my eyes were on Sorax for that one. He was really pounding through. It was impressive. And Ally is very quick to aggress on any kind of weakness that he sees. It's beautiful to watch it work like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing almost the exact same Uber we've seen so far. I mean, you know, there's the odd thing of if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. Uber will get used by Seeds a little bit early just to counteract this sniper on the side of Weebtunnel tactics. And this time, the Uber won't be getting quite as much done. They will manage to get 1 kill, but it doesn't really... It's almost like that's not entirely the goal of the Uber, or at least it isn't always, but I guess they just didn't really manage to get enough done. They didn't even manage to deal with a sentry. That 1 pick wasn't quite enough.
Is that a new sentry spot? Is that a thing now in TF2?
Not a massive amount, not as far as I can, as far as I've seen, but there's a lot of really dodgy, scrappy fighting going on right now, actually. Mentilex will get taken down by a very, very aggressive Kunu. I mean, this Uber's going to be up on Morrow pretty soon, but it just feels like Feint don't want to give Weebtunnel any time to just relax or take a breather or anything. Look at this is just relentless.
Yeah, and I think that kind of aggression is really what's pushing them off their game, but they're trying to push it back in, and Ignis is coming in with Bloodus. They're bringing Morrow into this fight. Again, it seems like now she's uncertain. It just, there's a lot of, I think, communication here that you're seeing it play out on the screen, that everybody's kind of playing a different game.
Definitely doesn't seem like they're as coherent. They're not kind of, you know, as maybe it comes down a little bit to kind of individual knowledge of the game, you know, knowledge of the class, knowing exactly what your limitations are. But I don't know, obviously it might just be the fact that this isn't a team we've seen play, at least in this format, a great deal. Obviously compared to Feint, have been doing this for at least this season, have been trying very hard for that.
You can see with Morrow and Salentis that they're on the same page. Like, as a combo, they are working incredibly well together. And that's something you can see all the time, but it just seems like a disconnect with the rest of the team.
Speaking of a disconnect, we will have a nice little frag on Sorax, immediately getting refragged. So again, we're going to be in this position where Feint is going to be trying to take control of Sewer. This time, Mentilex has found himself on the correct side of grass, although apparently incorrect this time. You know, you would hope he'd be able to play close enough to get some stickies up, but without those stickies already being there, he just gets rushed down by the scout. So again, things are going bad. Are they going to go from bad to worse like we've seen just a few moments before? It looks that way as Ali tries to rain some damage down. Ooh. Onto second. Yep, another headshot rings out. I mean, I feel like Samsi spent his entire game so far standing on that one part of Sewer, just raining out headshots. It just seems like Weebtunnel have no idea how to deal with it.
Once you find something that works, why would you give it up? Like, you might as well keep doing it till it stops working, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. You know, you force the other team to adapt or just lose, basically. So that's 3 kills for Samsi there. And they will be moving on to this last. There's only a few players up, and as a result, yeah, no, it is going to be almost a little bit of an early pop for... Ooh, nice little air shot there on Ali. So, you know, Salentis is showing he maybe an older player, but definitely still got a lot to him. But, you know, oh, actually, Ignis is going to be taking down Seeds. That's so important. I thought this was going to be another one of those, you know, you have to just stand around until Feint can do their push, but no. Ignis is showing he's no slacker as well, and we're actually seeing some real good counter-aggression now, but this might actually come down to this 1v1 of Sorax versus Ignis on last. He's absolutely decimating him, but Mentilex comes back just in time. So close there. Oh, this is just really, really scrappy fighting going on everywhere. There's still people fighting in choke, but eventually it's going to calm down a little bit, and Weebtunnel will be the victors of this engagement at least.
Yeah, that was insane. It was actually really well executed. We liked seeing something like that after they've been taking rounds. Usually, you see you know, a little bit of tilt, a little bit of negativity, but they're pushing through it. They know they can win. They know that they can beat the other team in this amount of time, and they're gonna try to do it.
Yeah, like that kind of aggression, you know, that kind of belief in yourself. You know, we said Sorax has it, and Ali definitely has it. You know, they have that determination, that kind of, you know, that trust in themselves. They can be aggressive, they can go forward, they can make things happen. We're starting to see that a little bit more, and yep, this Weebtunnel Tactics Uber should be coming through. One, they're going to take a lot of position, but this Uber's so close on the C's. He's going to be top left. He's going to be so weak, and he will actually go down on about 98%. So that Uber got exactly what it needed to, but now they just need to play this post-Uber fight, but it's going disastrously. They're so spread out across the ground. It's going to be a little bit of a 3v3 here. Ignis does need to heal up, and Pentlex is going to be playing right next to point, but no! Woo! That sneak cap from Ignis, he just jumped straight on it. Okay, things are suddenly looking good here for Weebtunnel. I mean, in the past about 3 minutes has been a complete tonal shift of their entire playstyle.
Complete chemistry change in that. Really impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Like, they're much more willing to take the fight to Fate, and it shows that if they do, you know, they're not just getting absolutely decimated. It shows that, you know, they take those 1v1s. You have the DM, you have the skill. So far, though, we haven't seen them manage to bring this forward into a mid just yet. We do see a little bit of early damage, but with this Samsky flanking soldier, this is opportunity for Weebtunnel Tactics to move forward, but they're just so unable to. I mean, that air shot on Morrow is going to be completely pounding their ability to move too far forward. I mean, Seed still has his place. He's going to be caught a little bit on the corner, but, I mean, Kunu does seem to be pretty willing to just farm everyone who's running forward. It's just, you know, I feel like Weebtunnel really had that opportunity to do something, and they just weren't quite ready for it.
Absolutely. A really unfortunate shot on Tomorrow there. Like, I think they probably had a lot of the high ground and a lot of the opportunity in that mid if she had been able to stay alive, so that's unfortunate. But once again, we're seeing them push right on through, and they're just going to keep the aggression up, get everyone together and push on to last. I don't think they're going to wait, and they've got significant ad, but why not get in there? And Amarok is already peeking in. They're taking some ground here in last. They're trying to decide which door they're going to come in through, but, I mean, they've got to move quickly, work that advantage.
Yep, so, you know, they can see the dot on the wall. They can see it as a sniper. They know they're going to have to use early. They've already heard it. Big bomb in from Ali this time. He will get flashed just in time. We did see them fail this push last time, and they still have to deal with this gun, which is so far away. And now the Weebtunnel Tactics players can actually manage to get all the way out of spawn. This Uber, I say the Uber didn't do a great deal, but this post-Uber fight is going really well. The frags do seem to be going almost entirely the way of Feint. I mean, it just seems that every time Weebtunnel look like they can be in a decent situation on some of these lasts, they just, I don't know if it's a case of like they rush it or whether these, yeah, that's it. It just feels like they're just too spread apart. Like Feint could just focus them down so many, just one by one.
Yeah, and you get that distraction away from the point, and it's really easy to just stand on it. As it turns out, that's the point of the game.
This is true. I mean, it's going to be 4-1 now. There's 7 minutes to go, but I believe in this rule set it will be first to 5 anyway, so potentially the last round, unless Weebtunnel can make something happen, and fairly quick. We have early aggression on Ali this time. What a rocket from Ignis. That's going to be so good here, so this is going to be the opportunity to move forward, aggress, keep on going. Feint don't seem to want to give up this mid. They lost their demo, but they know they can still take a lot of height, and you know, it seems to be a very similar story as other mids. Yep, big bomb in from Samsky. Morrow's going down. Just Jinxie left all by his lonesome. I mean, he has full health, but that's not going to make a great deal of difference when there's 3 enemy gamers just ready to frag you.
Sorax pulled a great distraction there. He just ran straight for the medic, which you would generally call a pasta play, but it worked out fantastically well for them there because everybody turns around, both scouts turn around to try and fight him, and they're just getting killed with spam. It's great. So I mean, for them.
It is. It's a little bit less good for Weebtunnel, but I say it's going to be about 6 minutes now. It's almost getting to the territory where Weebtunnel are going to have to start, you know, as long as they have their successful last hold, they're going to have to just more or less push off any tiny advantage or even do some off-Uber pushes just to be able to have enough time to keep on going. There will be an NG heavy sentry up. That first frag on Sorax, that's going to be really good just to either delay this Feint Uber or just to make it much less effective. This time we'll be going through 4. Ali doing his same jump, getting a lot of damage in. He will still get his flash. Siege being really on point with that. So again, it's going to come down to this post-Uber fight. Can each team manage to take enough position to actually, you know, create themselves a beneficial situation?
The gun wasn't really up yet, so they managed to kill it before it had the chance to get to a level 3, but I think they realized pretty quickly that they didn't have the bodies to be able to do anything, and they backed out. And now Maro's going to be able to have the advantage here. And if they can get together again, they're splintered. Everybody's separate. Maro's not even healing right now. If they can get together, they can push this.
Yeah, like they seem so aggressive. I mean, there's so many 1v1s happening. Seems a little bit unnecessary right now. They're not going to be a player down trying to push out with what isn't huge Uber advantage, only about 20%. I mean, this just seems, you know, right for a repush. Yeah, with such an early use like that, this is going to be Ali. He will actually get out alive as well, and with Siege on 95%, this could be crushing. I mean, one deep bomb from Ali is going to completely annihilate almost this entire team. I mean, yeah, there we go. Sticky's coming. Gets a lot of damage. No frags just yet, though. But Samsky and Sorix get taken down. I mean, yeah, Ali gets one, but with the amount of damage he's taken, it just doesn't seem like this is, going at all how Fate was wanting it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Maro died to a roller, but otherwise there were no deaths there. And again, they were in alone. They didn't just have the support that they needed there. That big of a fight. Man.
Yeah, see, this is a little bit rough for Feint. I mean, it's 4 minutes 17. You know, this literally has to be a case of, you know, cap mid, go to second, use whatever Uber advantage you have onto last. It's literally about 20 seconds, but Samsky is up on Sniper once again. He was actually taking a little peek towards PC. You know, gotta keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I think the sniper play a lot of the time is about getting into your opponent's head, especially once you've hit a shot or two. That's really all you need to just be able to have everybody just up on their hindquarters going, oh my god, there's a sniper, where is he?
Well, you know, that and the fact that just a sniper existing on the field, it'll make Ubers be used earlier, you know? It's just that threat of it. Sometimes, you know, you'll just get a slightly worse Uber out of your team just because, you know, they'll just use out of respect. We do see this Uber very, very close on the side of Moro, does now have it moving towards PC. It almost looks like they wanted to try and go in without using it, but they're gonna have to get forced all the way through upper PC. They're gonna try and take it onto last, but the Uber's fading before they can get anything too much done. I mean, Siege is just flying around the map, surfing like an absolute god right now. Even Ignis isn't managing to get him. He will eventually, but so many players just for the sake of Siege. And the Feint repush is on with both scouts just storming out of rollout. They're going to be forcing these three remaining Weebtunnel Tactics players all the way out of choke.
Seeing the same thing in reverse, which is sacrificing everything to kill the opponent med, and doesn't work out in the end all the time.
Nope. So again, you know, Weebtunnel, they don't have much of a choice. They got to take this without the Uber. They got to trust that the Uber's going to be enough to push last, and that they can do this without. I mean, Feint do seem almost a little bit content. Only one sack going to be going in. Yeah, he'll get some good damage, but Uber's still going to be up in more or less any second. Time is going to start running out for them. They need to start getting some rounds, but they do still have time to work with, especially when they can get in through left almost for free here. There's no actual stickies. They are 95%. They do have to delay just a little bit more. Uber's in, and Uber's been used. They're going to be storming forward towards the point. They're going to be getting a lot of time to begin with. Really, really smart play, and yeah, there we go. That's a round. 4-2 with 2 minutes to go. You know, I don't think Weebtunnel's had their say here. I think they want to keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see them fight it all the way through. Sometimes when you see games like this where, again, they took 3 really strong maps on the other side, you see the team kind of get tilted, like I was saying, but you're seeing them really push hard. There's a lot of pride here.
Well, you know, especially like when you get these 2 rounds, I mean, it's got to fill you with that confidence of, yeah, no, we can do this. We can be good enough to win this. And we are seeing on this mid, it's a lot more equal. Neither team's willing to commit quite as hard as before. They're just kind of feeling each other out, seeing what kind of opportunities will open up. The initial little bit of aggression was kind of the Feint soldiers, but they've actually been forced onto the ground, taking so much damage. And Samsky's getting shot all the way into the sky, but he does manage to get a frag while up there, so pretty good for him. I mean, again, it does seem like Weebtunnel just have no choice but to heal up and repush on the point. They can't just let this mid go for free. Their time is going to run away, and this is going to be crits. Cross-map rockets, but nothing's going to be connecting just yet. I mean, literally nothing at all with this crits. They will eventually get Amarok, but it's not really going to be that much for. I mean,
God, you know, the balls on Ali walking in with 50 health, throwing pipes against 5 opponents is pretty impressive as well.
I mean, it's either you know, it's either bravery or possibly just hubris. Not caring anymore.
Yeah, just being tired.
It is quite possible. Yep, Weebtunnel Tactics are going to be storming onto second. They're going to be taking this point, actually. I mean, there's little trades on the flank, but that doesn't really matter. This Uber's not going to be up in time for Feint to really do anything. I mean, it's getting almost to the point of being basically impossible. But I think, you know, just for the sake of ego, if nothing else, Weebtunnel have to go in. They have to just, you know, go in as soon as they possibly can with this crit and just try and get something done. I mean, once again, it seems like a complete disaster of a crit. They've got absolutely nothing done with it at all. I mean, effectively zero damage, and they're just losing everyone. So
Kunu Pyro is just pounding through them.
I think this is going to be about 7 seconds, and yeah, I think you have to call it here with basically Weebtunnel wiping there. This is going to be the first map going the way of Feint, but not quite as comfortably as maybe some people would have predicted.
Yeah, a little more comfortably than I predicted.
Yeah, a tiny bit more, but you know, the whole 3-2 prediction, I mean, that was pretty close. Can't argue with that. I mean, I'm not sure if Seeds actually did drop. I'm sure we'll look at the logs in a second, but
I think, you know, a lot of this might, like we were talking about before, the fatigue, exhaustion. Yeah. Again, I haven't watched these teams play all day, so I could be completely wrong about this, but the splintering that we were seeing a lot on the side of Weebtunnel tactics, you see that a lot when there's a lack of communication. Yep. There's exhaustion. Players are tired. Players have been playing for 12 hours. They've been sitting here trying to, you know, get through these games, get good seeding for tomorrow, and now that they've finally gotten into these playoff games, they're exhausted.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. You know, things can sometimes like devolve that little bit, go down to like a bit more of a, like, you know, some of these scrappy DM fighters that we saw. Sometimes, you know, people, they just, you know, they forget what they agreed to do. They forget whatever their team strats are, and they just kind of think, we're just going to have to run at them. We're just going to have to hope for the best. But
yeah, like we were talking about, you could definitely see the expectations from Silentes. When he pushed in, when he did distraction plays, you could see that he was setting things up for his team. You could see that he had expectations of them to follow through. And sometimes they did, but a lot of the time you could definitely see that he and Maro were on a page forward than the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's either that or just because really most of the core of the team, like I said, like, you know, it's kind of a part core of that team we saw of Silentes and Maro from Copenhagen, was it? And it's kind of part of this core of Mentalex, of Bloodus as well. So it's almost like maybe because they've not played with each other a huge amount, maybe it's just kind of almost like a clashing of play styles, you know? I don't know how much time they had to prepare, but it definitely seemed like they weren't quite all on the same page. They weren't quite able to make things work as well as some of the other teams. So
I was actually really impressed. Like I said, I haven't seen Sorex play on this team. I don't catch a lot of the TF2, so for me it's all very new, but it was actually incredible to see them playing off each other the way that they were, and the way that they were drawing. They would draw each of the players away, but still manage to work as a team. So you would have everybody fighting on a front in 5 different places, but still centralized around seats.
Yeah, it's like that difference between being splintered and having, you know, 5 different guys in 5 different locations, and having like a focused kind of push where, you know, everyone knows where they're going. They're not all in like the same spot. They're not, you know, taking all of the same spam. They're close enough to focus the same targets, but they're far enough away that, you know, that one soldier isn't going to be able to deal that much damage from his bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think going from that, like I said, it wasn't hugely convincing. I mean, definitely, you know, Feint obviously did deserve to win. They did look much, you know,
but you can see it in Weebtunnel. You can absolutely see that there is a very good chance that they could take the next 2 maps if they decide to.
Yep, and I think it's going to be interesting, I think, to see whether Granary will be the map for it. I mean, Granary have always been, historically, everyone's referred to it as like, you know, either one of the biggest or just like the soldier map, you know. There's so much height on mid, like these creates just the ability to kind of jump up and, you know, shoot downwards rockets instead of having to rely on directly.
At the same time, so many chokes, so much splash damage opportunity. I mean, what a fantastic chance as a soldier to just shoot at the ground and kill everything.
It is the best way of playing soldier. I think just before we go into too much about Granary, we do have some logs to look through from the process game. We will be going there. Yep. Oh, my Lord, Ali, please. 384 DPM. I mean, it definitely felt that way based on just looking at things. But Sorex as well. I mean,
some for the rest of the boys. It's not a competition.
I believe it might be a competition, actually. Yeah, like bad. 24 ranks for Ali, 29 for Sorex. I mean, you said, you know, the way they played off each other definitely seemed incredibly strong. And, you know, you can see the logs are painting the exact same story. And it's just kind of not quite the same if we look at like a Mentalex and his scouts. You know, Mentalex, he did manage to die like just, you know, compared to his team, not a huge amount, but like 21 compared to Ali's like 11. It did just seem that there was about 3 or 4 times where he would get picked off where you just, you know, there's no real good time to lose your demo man, but some of those positions where teams are about to repush or teams are about to push into last, that ability to spam a choke point, spam a doorway, get some stickies up, at least, you know, have some kind of threat on the enemy team is so important, and they just wouldn't have Mentalex alive for it. So
that tipped the scales a lot. And again, taking those 1v1s and being so separated, and I think, again, the communication there. Because you see that, like, Silentes was doing so much work that entire map, but his numbers just don't reflect it.
No, definitely. You know, it's almost, you could almost argue it's a little bit kind of the curse of the class, really. You know, Soldier as a class can do an awful lot, but unless you're willing to stand around, you know, get 40% heals and run around with a shotgun and be incredibly resource intensive, you know, it's not quite an upper limit, but there's only so many things you can do. Like, you can create space, you can get a lot of position, you can deal a lot of damage, but you can't do everything. It's not even, you know, the same as, like,
someone else has to shoot what you're shooting.
That, yeah, well, basically, obviously, like, when Ali walks through a choke point, he has 4 pipes, he has 8 stickies. As long as he can keep himself kind of, you know, getting tanked by his medic, he can just, you know, deal crazy amounts of damage. And with the scouts playing much closer, you know, can just clean up these frags so quickly. But Silentes, you know, he could do a lot, but just it didn't really seem like enough to make enough things happen. And, you know, I think just, you know, we haven't really kind of said too much about him over the course of the game, but, like, I thought, looking at that, you can see why Seeds is one of the best medics in European TF2 right now. Like, the way he would dodge spam, like, you know, a couple times, he would end up dying in the end, but there's such a difference to dying early to, like, you know, a couple rockets and forcing that soldier and that demo man to, like, you know, use about 8 pieces of combined ammo to deal with you. It makes things even, you know, the fact that, the end result is you die, but then in that post-Uber fight, they're going to have to start reloading. They're going to get stuck in a reload cycle, so your team can just walk forward fully loaded, you know, full health and just absolutely decimate. But, yeah, like I said, I think I think they can be ready up pretty quickly, so we can have a little look at Granary. And actually, I believe my sound's a little bit cut up, but we might even just be starting right now. It does very much look like this. I mean, we are seeing a rollout. Yep, the sound is coming in. We'll be going to our second map here. This is Granary, possibly the last map of this best of 3, but I think Weebtunnel are going to have a lot of things to say for us. So we do see Ali rolling out incredibly quickly and getting some nice early damage. Mentalex almost dies really to full damage right there. So already things are a little bit rough on this Weebtunnel mid. They're going to have to play a little bit passive just to heal up. But as always, it comes to who can get this good initial aggression. Mentalex is actually doing really well. He did manage to take a lot of position for his team, get a lot of height from Bloodus and the soldiers for their team, and they are actually managing to force Feint. I mean, Feint really haven't left this choke point at any point this mid. They've just taken so much damage, and Silentes getting in. Ooh. So close. I mean, even still, it didn't look like Siege was going to get out of that 8 HP. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Almost expected, though, to a certain extent. Yeah, no, we saw Samsky try to come in with a flank play there, but he wasn't able to pull anything off, and everybody turned around and killed him before the team was even able to walk out of choke. But it looks like they're going to try to repush on this. Yeah, I think, you know, it's going to be a bit of repush, bit of a kind of, like, you know, force attempt, but whatever it is, it's not working out for them, and losing 2 players, especially a demo man like that, they can't keep these stickies above the shutter, so it is going to allow Weebtunnel Tactics into second, or at least, you know, the yard part of second. It's almost like second is a kind of split into 2 little areas, really. Yeah, I consider this outer second. So it is going to be an equal Uber. It does look like they might just want to go for a trade here. They will get forced off slightly, ever so slightly better Uber for Seeds, and it does seem like unless something absolutely crazy can happen on the flank, this is going to be like a little bit of a reset. Jinxie is going to get taken down on the flank, but Weebtunnel, they don't want to give this up. They want to move all the way through towards the lunchbox. They want to just keep on fighting, but yeah, with that soldier trade, I feel like they just can't, you know. Whatever they were trying for, it was optimistic to go without Jinxie anyway, but now, actually, I mean, Mentalex is just completely out of place. I mean, he's just absolutely nowhere near his team. I mean, another thing, you know, we've said that maybe the communication isn't there. Definitely wasn't there then. I'm sure he's furious right now. He's just absolutely nowhere near any of his team. And we have Ignis trying to go up behind there, but he's going to go down in garage, and they're just going to shove them right out of it. I mean, again, what can you say about this when you see something so secure completely fall apart? I mean, I had complete faith they were going to go in and cap last. Just completely walk away from it. Well, he said it is going to be another Equilibrium situation. We've not seen, you know, really many many times where Weebtunnel have managed to get themselves an advantage out of these situations. I mean, a couple times we've seen some plays here and there, but it doesn't seem like they have anything too much to rely on. So many of these random little kind of flank pushes and kind of pokes and prods do seem to be going the way of Feint. So, yeah, again, you know,
in all of this just exchanging of spam, it just seems like Ali is always coming out of it on top. He's always coming out, you know, almost like 100 HP more than Mentalex. And it's just the kind of thing where, you know, Feint can feel so confident that, you know, eventually they're going to get something. They're going to get a big bomb in, absolutely huge bomb in from the Soldier, but no, Morrow's going to be so far away. He'll pick up Bloodus, but not going to make any difference with the Ubers. It almost felt like with all that position that Weebtunnel gave, Feint could have maybe done something a little bit more.
That was a sniper feed. That's what that was.
You reckon? Do you think this is going to be a Samsi sniper? Nope, he's proven you wrong instantly, but we do actually have
Spy.
Yeah, Spy.
We have a spy play. It's time for the spy.
It is going to be something a little bit different. You know, Spy on LAN, people always say it's so good. You have that difference of, you know, playing in your room where it's completely quiet. It's pretty, it's a much different experience to sitting here with all of that sound. You can't hear that Spy decloaking, you can't hear those footsteps quite as much. It's going to be whether they can do enough of a distraction as well. I think, you know, it may well be a case that Weebtunnel can make this read at this point. I mean, when literally nothing happens for, you know, about a minute and a half, you've got to think there's going to be an off class somewhere. Someone's doing something, and yeah, it does look like, you know, Ignis is kind of moving around, spamming random little corners as if they know, so it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Samski.
I heard the scout call Spy, so they are aware.
They know 100%. The scout boy said it.
He's coming in through C.
Yeah, it does seem like they're just so happy to...
Yeah,
they found the Spy. They found him. It does seem a little bit peculiar that they're so focused on the Spy, they're not making any effort to do something of their own. You know, they don't want to create an advantage. They just want to neutralize any possible disadvantage. I mean, you know, it makes sense. Yeah, deal with the Spy, but at some point, guys, you've got to accept the fact that they're effectively playing with 5 right now. You can afford to do a little bit more, I feel. They were just focused on all of this.
Just indecision.
Yeah, and eventually in all of that, there is going to be a little bit of a trade. Jinxie, he's got bored. He's trying to take some position, taking a lot of damage for it. The Spy finally comes in, and it's an absolute disaster. Almost, you know, I'm going to say unlucky to be polite there. So, okay, 2 players down. They're missing Samski. Sarx is an early sport.
Surely they push.
Yeah, he's just about spawned. Maybe not a push, maybe just an opportunity to walk in, take some position, get some kind of sack or something. It looks like they want to do exactly that. Silentis is calling for his buffs. Lotus will go down to Sticky. Silentis is trying to get in. Nice rockets on Seeds. Actually, what a crispy little direct from Silentis. He'll take down Sorax as well. So that is, I mean, you know, every time you feel like Weebtunnel are kind of running out of ideas, it just seems like they go through sheer force of will. Samsi trying to make his mark as well, trying to get in on Morrow, but he won't be able to quite make anything too much happen. I mean, right now it does seem a little bit keen for Mentalex and Morrow to be so far forward, especially with Kunu on the back lines fighting what is right now a Soldier and a Scout and winning at least one 1v1.
Thankfully, Emrock got very confused and non-committal about that because he very easily could have taken Morrow down, but it looks like she's going to get out and meet up with Silentis on second, so they didn't lose too much ground there. No,
but like it does seem messy. I mean, they managed to get that kill on the medic, but it just, I don't know, it just seems so messy that they haven't been able to do anything with this Uber yet. And even now, they are pushing 5 players against 6. Menti's just only spawned, and again, it seems like a pretty disastrous Uber. Silentis is trying to do something, but he did about 40 damage in that entire thing, and now, you know, it almost feels like they're just kind of content to move backwards. Yeah, Menti's just, you know, setting up sticks on second. Silentis is trying to get in again, trying to make something happen. The Siege won't allow it, and neither will the rest of his team, so this is about a 60% Uber advantage. They can be walking onto second. That I believe there should be at least, yeah, a couple sticky traps. We see some traps on the pillars. So as long as this doesn't manage to kind of do anything too crazy, there is going to be an opportunity for Seeds, and I believe it's going to be Sorax going to be starting to walk forward. I mean, it's a little bit slow again. It's only about 20%. They have lost Samski as well. They will have to use this Uber, and they will have to focus Morrow if they have any hopes of, you know, kind of winning this fight before the Uber comes out. Morrow's 98%. She will be getting the Uber, and it's going to be used off on the Heavy, who's immediately going to mow down both of the Feint Scouts. So
you got to say this for them. Their last holds have been really impressive. I mean, the number of times they've actually come out of a last hold and against the number of times that they've actually lost the point, I mean, it's actually a pretty impressive number, I think, if we put it down on paper.
We do have another Spy in the form of Samski. I think he's going for about 5 minutes total played on Soldier at this point. He's going to be, you know, he's going for his off-classer of the LAN.
We are the bugs.
Apparently we are. He is going to be decloaked behind it again. It's another disaster. I mean, he gets a couple butter knives, but no frags, and he will get taken down. Oh, what a crispy pipe from Ali, annihilating Mentalex, and again, looks like Weebtunnel's going to have to be backing up. Ignis is going to be, it almost looked like he was going to maybe try and do something, but 100% I agree, smart decisions to stay alive there. They will be getting their Uber about the same time as Feint, but they have to deal with this initial wave of aggression as they storm through and take so much position for free. I think it's going to come down to this Uber trade. What exactly is going to happen here? How much time can they get on point before having to use this? Is a good little bit better from Seeds. There's a lot of height they do have to take here if they want to be successful. They are denying some of this height, and Samsky, he is just able to stand on this pipe, raining down some death, but
Weebtunnel's playing as a unit. They are taking heals, they're playing around their medic, and they're shoving them out of their last point. I mean, again, these last holds really, when they play how they know they're supposed to play, you can see it. You can feel that they are in sync.
Exactly, say incredibly equal there, and it just shows that Weebtunnel, you know, they know what they're doing. They're able to go equal with this Feint team at least, you know, at least a certain amount of the time. So again, it's going to be equal. It is still 0-0. And this is a decent amount of time into the game, so we are actually seeing just a few little kind of flank plays going on. Sorax did run through and just, I believe, 2 or 3 shot Ignis there, so...
Pasta.
Certifiable pasta, because he knows he's going to hit it. That's the problem with Sorax.
Yeah. It's
So
that hubris again.
It is true. We will be seeing possibly a little off-class here from either side. We're seeing Samsky's bomb get kind of a, not really amount to a great deal there. So, okay, again, we have an advantage. Weebtunnel tactics. This time they're going to be sending in Silentis. He will actually get the force. That was almost like a respect pop from CJ. He went straight up. He was absolutely no way was he going to let Silentis get the air shot drop on him. So, Uber's going to get forced, and they're even going to get a kill on Kunu. I mean, you know, if there's a time to push, you really would think it's now. It just has to be, how bad can this Uber really be? Soldier jumps in, a little bit of damage on Morrow, but the surf away is going to really negate any ability to do anything too much from the Feint players. So this should be a mid completely for free, and it is. So there is this opportunity to keep surging forward. Once they get enough cap time, they can walk forward, they can see if they can maybe catch Seeds out, who is still only on about 60%.
That was some strength from Morrow. She was heckled quite a lot there and was able to hold on to the Uber. You kind of see this defiant, like, I'm not popping to you right now, hello, and she just walks forward into the scout, like, no problem. I mean, the confidence that she's showing right now is almost defiant.
Yeah, definitely some good play here on either side. But yeah, I think both medics are playing just incredibly well. Their use of Ubers, it's not always kind of a perfect timing, but their positioning is, it does seem to be kind of, you know, pretty on. It does seem to be their ability to dodge spam is pretty good. But yeah, in all of this, I feel like Weebtunnel, they knew their Uber advantage was more or less nothing, so they have had a stalemate again, and it does seem like they are just really over-reliant on Silentis to make things happen.
I was going to say, where's the line between playmaking and feeding? Because I think he's playing with it right now.
Well, I feel like it's more the fact that he feels so pressurized to make things happen, because it doesn't seem like anyone else on Weebtunnel really feels confident to make that decision of when it is the correct time, when there's a significant enough opportunity. And, you know, it almost seems right now like Feint are just kind of, they're feeling so confident peaking choke points, which really they shouldn't be able to peak. They shouldn't be able to get through without losing players. I mean, they did lose one through all of that. But I think Weebtunnel are going to be trying to make something happen from it. It does look like it may end up being... Nope, it's just me traded frags. I thought potentially a traded Uber there, but there's going to be some traded frags.
Looks like they're getting closer to Garage here, so we might see Feint actually push into Garage and do this exchange on mid.
Yeah, it's, you know, you don't see too many teams go for kind of these aggressive Uber trades. Most teams will go more for these kind of force trades just because it's much safer. I think we'll be seeing another one of those, the Samsky bombs, really deep. You will get almost no damage on Morrow at all, about 50 in total. Morrow surfing straight into the pack, so, you know, it isn't looking absolutely fantastic yet. Ali gets taken down as well by Jinxie. That's definitely not what you want to see here. Very kind of uncharacteristic as well. I mean, if they can walk all the way onto second here, that's the first step of what they need. Sorax goes down as well. I mean, Amarok was almost lucky to get out alive. This is going to have to be Feint moving on to last. And I mean, you know, there's an opportunity. You don't quite have all the Feint players up yet. It seemed like Jinxie wanted to. He was calling for his team to move through left, but in that, you know, half a second it took to stand still, Samsky found his skull and put a bullet straight through it.
He will do that, and he's the only off-class that they have up. They're not going full defensive here. They fully intend to push off of this. And they're hoping Samsky can get a pick so that they can move forward. Ignis is quite low on health here. If we see anybody push forward into this, and he goes down to a shot by Samsky. So probably going to be seeing the Feint guys move into second here and take it back for their own.
I mean, they are going to try, but it almost seems like just a little bit risky. I mean, they do have a sniper, and it's just, you know, it's really, really dodgy to do anything too much there. I mean, yeah, they will take down Mentalex in all of this absolute carnage. The Uber does get forced off on the Feint side, but you have this random jinxy spy back cap who will at least draw the Feint players back, and this might be the opportunity Weebtunnel want to take. But, you know, it's that decision of do we risk it now? Do we wait until we have 6? Yeah, they'll have a better setup, but we'll have our full players, you know, we'll be able to do it exactly as we practice. I think that's what they're going to want to go for.
I mean, their soldiers are peaking a little bit, but the problem is that they lose anyone at this stage is going to hurt their push. But it looks like they're starting to peek in. They've used the Uber. They're going to get in onto last here and see if they can get any frags with this. It looks like everyone's pushed off to the other side. They've got a heavy up on the side of Feint Gaming, and the Uber just didn't get anything but Samsky.
No, I mean, like, they managed to take a decent amount of position, some height, but, you know, the post-Uber fight didn't really amount to anything. And, you know, the second that 450 HP Sarx was there and just so far away, he's just, you know, Heavy's just, you're able to just deny so far. It's not even so much the damage you do, but just the fact that, you know, no soldier can jump you because those bullets will just completely neutralize any horizontal movement he's got, and they'll just fall like a stone. So
yeah, and they did a really good job of just getting away from that Uber and getting healed up to move forward.
So we will be seeing this Uber advantage from Feint. It does look like they want to move through Garage. Moro's still absolutely nowhere near, and as a result, the entire Weebtunnel Tactics team will be all the way on second. So they're content to give up this mid for the sake of being very, very close to their own Uber. They should at least be able to hold second again. Still 0-0. Seems like both teams, they're kind of, you know, they're peeking and prodding. They're not going for absolutely crazy plays because they're not feeling too much of the pressure left. They still have a decent amount of time, 15 minutes on the clock.
And it is literally anyone's game. I mean, this is a great nail-biter to have at this stage in the tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, you know, most people going into this would expect, you know, Feint, oh yeah, they're going to be dominating, you know, Ali's going to be pounding forward, like almost, you know, how we saw the first half of Process, really, but they do seem much less confident on this map. The fact that they've not managed to get around yet in 15 minutes, and really, like, on paper, this Weebtunnel Tactics team should be a much, much lower ranked team. It's, yeah, it kind of makes you think about maybe if this map is something they might want to ban going on later in the competition.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking about as well, because I think this might be something where they just weren't aware of the weaknesses that they had in this situation. Again, it could just be, you know, exhaustion or whatever, but it could be something where there was a weakness that they didn't realize that they had, because like you said, this map just is not played very frequently.
So definitely not as much as some others. People are much more kind of, yeah, much more opinionated on it, but in all of this discussion, Kunu has been peeking and prodding. They've been taking some decent little position for him to try and line up some kind of body shot, and that's going to be Moro dropping. Absolutely disastrous. How can they let that sniper just peek for so long? He just charged up that shot forever, and now Weebtunnel's actually going to be sending two players onto mid. It's not even really a backup attempt. It's just, I think, a distraction, trying to make something happen. Bloodus runs in with his team, but all three are going to get cleaned up without getting a single frag. This is just absolutely disastrous. I mean, if Feint doesn't manage to oh, sorry, Mentalex just had Samsky's number there completely. But yeah, if Feint doesn't manage to get a successful last push out of this, I'm not quite sure how they will.
You will be gob-smacked.
Absolutely gobsmacked. I mean, they do have a sniper, but it almost feels like as long as you can get all 6 of your players in, you can kind of play that sniper on the far left. You can watch some of these angles. You know, you can pump up some damage onto this heavy and, you know, lock down some of the spawn doors a little bit more. But instead of lower, they're going all the way through top. They will sacrifice Kunu, but Bloodus and Silentis really key picks here. They are going to be moving towards the point, at least just enough to force Ignis to drop down. He will be getting a lot of damage. He will actually take down Ali, but no, it's going to be Sark standing on the cap and finally getting the first round of this game.
Yeah, those early picks on last were really useful, and then they had a player hiding in second that wasn't able to do much, and again, they were splintered off. They had a heavy moving in, and they just did not have time to build up their last defense before the players moved in. And we had seen Weebtunnel have a very strong last hold on this map in the last 15 minutes, but they weren't able to get it set up in time. So you see that timing of Feint, maybe something with their chemistry, their ability to move very quickly and very decisively and get in there before the setup was prepared.
Going into the second mid, it will be, again, Ali's getting the best of almost every one of these medic fights, getting so much damage on Mentex. They actually go down super, super early to basically just spam at this point. And with this damage going down on Morrow, I mean, almost the entirety of the Weebtunnel Tactics team has just barely any health. I mean, yeah, no one's healthy at all. They have to walk all the way out onto second, and yeah, you know, it didn't seem like they were able to get anywhere near the point. I mean, last mid, Mentlex at least managed to take some position, but this time Ali just completely read him like a book. It will be equal Ubers. Morris just getting her Uber up now, so it may be that the Weebtunnel team does decide to go for a little bit of a trade. They do see some players going a little bit hyper-aggressive, but you know, the second they look towards Shutter to see if there's going to be a trade, Sorax walks in on the flank, takes down Ignis, and now the rest of Feint are going to be moving on the flank, not fully committing necessarily, but just kind of a pressuring, you know. They can afford to send a sack, they can afford to, you know, send a guy here and there, as long as they can keep Seeds and the rest of the like the core combo alive.
They popped off Morrow there on second, and they looked like they were working on surrounding Weebtunnel Tactics for a bit, but the pop-off came for Morrow, and now Seeds has 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be a full Uber. I mean, it's kind of one of those situations where as long as they can get like a pick, or if they get 2 picks, this would just be a case of they could walk all the way in, take the point for free, and maybe just use their Uber all the way on last. Silentes is the first frag they would need to deal with that, and they've already acquired that first little goal, so leaving a scout capping second, maybe just taking this Uber through top, I think is probably going to be their goal here. As Ali, yep, he meets up with his team, he gets his little buff, they're going to be moving towards upper, still 30% away from Morrow. They can't rely on this Uber, they're going to be crushing this Jinxie heavy into the ground. Ignis is still there trying to help his team with a lot of height, but both these Weebtunnel soldiers have been forced onto the floor, and this high ground is so important on Granary, and it does just seem like this later fight is just going to be going really, really well. Ali did nearly die to an air shot. I was almost going to be very excited there, but no, the push was too good from Feint.
It's the second time now we've seen a heavy on the ground just helplessly going, please don't shoot me. That's not a good position for a heavy to be in.
Well, I mean, you know, that 450 health heavy, especially with arrows as well, it can soak up a lot of damage. It can almost kind of act as like a damage sponge where, you know, they're shooting him so you can buy a bit more time for your medic to get the Uber, but
only if he's standing in front of the rockets.
Yeah, so that's it. Third mid now definitely does seem like Feint are building up a little bit of momentum here. Ali's moving towards top, and Menti's going to be playing on the floor. Big bombs, a little bit of distraction from the side of the Weebtunnel team, but doesn't seem to be distracting for anything much because they can't get out of this corner still. Jinxie will be going down. Ignis will manage to find the one frag. Weebtunnel seem to want to get this mid. And yeah, that's it. It's going to be a wipe for Feint. This is going to be, say, only really losing Samsky there. It doesn't, you know, it's not really going to hamper the Feint ability to move on a second, or even, you know, they could, if they were really, really keen, they could just get their players, you know, leave someone capping and go straight on to last, but they don't need to. They don't need to be too risky. They can wait on Samsky, they can wait on whatever they want. It's almost kind of the situation where you could, you've seen some teams in this situation with all this advantage just kind of, you know, have that spawner go heavy or something, you know, kind of get that late push through upper, but Uber's going to use upper once again. This damage on the heavies, you know, it's taking a little bit longer this time, but they will manage to take down Bloodus. Again, Morrow absolutely nowhere near the Uber, so this post-Uber fight is all going to be heals versus heals, what they can manage to get done, what height they can keep, but it does seem like Weebtunnel are going to be a little bit better together with it. I mean, yeah, this damage from Feint isn't really getting coordinating to the right area, but the point seems to be the main thing they're focusing for, and yeah, the second they draw these Weebtunnel players onto the point, yeah, that's where they start raining down that damage and crushing them.
Wow, I mean, that was a really fun last cap. I mean, it was a nail biter because that was so evenly matched. And then you saw the spawner come in on the side of Weebtunnel, and you weren't sure if they were able to cap it. Honestly, what I'm seeing right now is some incredible work from these medics. I'm floored.
I think, yeah, like in that last match, you could see like that switch over the course of about 2 seconds. That switch of, we don't care about frags anymore, focus a point, you know? And immediately the whole team was just like, right, let's do it. We're going to focus it. So 3 rounds down. You know, Weebtunnel were in a very similar position last game. They didn't quite have time to possibly go and neutralize. They have to change something in that mid. I mean, they've got a lot of height, but it seems to be really like the damage dealing they're kind of lacking in. And once again, Feint seems to be the one. It's not even necessarily bringing the fight to them, but just dealing so much damage. And Samsky is actually so confident at this point. He's bringing out the direct hit. We're going to see some air shots going on here. And when you absolutely wipe a team like that on mid, you can understand why there might be just a little bit of confidence here.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, we're seeing them lose 1v1s on mid. I saw a lot of Weebtunnel guys trying to pick fights, draw distractions away, and they were just losing those 1v1s. And then everybody just pounced on Syl, and that was pretty much it. I think they're seeing Salentis dying on mid as a signal for GTFO.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like they need something else. They need to try, I don't know, something different, or just, I don't know, come up with some kind of idea. It just seems to be, they're doing the same thing and it just isn't working. But this Uber does come in. Moro this time is going to get caught, which is disastrous for the side of Weebtunnel. They're just getting decimated by this direct hit. 2 frags for Samsky. And there's just basically no one alive at this point. It's just Mentalex all by his lonesome. He's not going to be able to get anything done. That's 4 rounds. And I feel like this might be the end of this map very, very shortly, unless Weebtunnel can pull out an absolute blind to the mid. I mean, like, what would you be expecting? If you're Weebtunnel, you need something completely different on mid. What kind of things would you be expecting? I mean, like, do you just kind of go all out aggro right? Do you just jump people in deep? Do you kind of, almost just like stay super passive, let the bombs come in, but counter-aggress? I mean,
I feel like really what they're missing, like we spoke about a couple of times, is just another force of playmaking on that team. I mean, Salentis is such a playmaker, but the rest of the team is struggling. I mean, Jinxie and Menti go down almost immediately on this mid. They just didn't even come to mid.
No, I mean, they exactly what you said. They didn't really even get through the choke point, and I think, it might almost be that for the Weebtunnel Tactics players, they consider their night more or less done at this point, as they're just running and running and running. We do see Moro and Salentis hiding in Z. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you want to see. This crit is coming out, and it's just decimating. Oh my god. Siege does manage to get the Uber in time, so it'll only get 2 frags. That was so close to being absolutely crazy. A little drop on Seeds, but
they went down fighting. And I think that's, when we look back at this map, this is the poetry of the medics. This was some pretty fantastic, solid play from medics on both teams. I've honestly, that's been my impression the entire game.
It does definitely seem that way. I think, I think it might just be time very, very soon for Feint to go for like the big GG push. Salentis once again trying to be the playmaker for his team, getting doing some decent damage to Seeds, but not enough to make anything happen. Mentalex gets his direct hit, is just dealing so much damage. Ignis is getting one of his own. We have a Huntsman from Jinxie. Okay, right, now we're seeing it come out. People joke about the Huntsman, but I think he's done about 400 damage in about 3 seconds with it, so,
When's it getting banned?
Well, I don't think quite after this game, and yeah, with Moro being the sole player alive, 2 fresh spawners, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to be a GG 5-0 from Feint, winning this best of 3, 2 maps to 0. Dominating performance on Granary. They took some time to get the engine up and going, but as soon as they did, they were just like completely on fire. It just seemed like Weebtunnel they couldn't get a leg in on these mids.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say congratulations. That was a fantastic cast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I did quite well myself.
You're a fragger. Yeah. You're a fragger and
Absolutely.
a caster.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first game was much closer than the second. That was unfortunate, but I think this map was definitely a big question mark for me. I did not see it coming. Like the map pick, Grainer's just not something you see a lot of. Very unpredictable, and we saw it kind of hurt the Weebtunnel Tactics team. Yeah,
I mean, it took about 15 minutes to kind of get things started, but once it got started, Feint did seem really comfortable, and we've said about 100 times about fatigue and this and that and whatever. Maybe that's the Feint that you'll see once they're like well rested. And if so, it may well be that Granary's a really, really positive map for them. We do have some logs to look at. I would imagine we're going to see Ali absolutely pounding once again 360 DPM. Not tons of frags, so it doesn't really matter, because it said almost some of these mids came down to not how many kills, but just how much damage gets done. And you said, when one team gets locked in a choke point, it's just, what can you do? Who's going to be standing out for you, Sammy?
Yeah, again, for me, it was all about the medics. Honestly, even in a 5-0, Moro had some, pardon me, balls. She really was not taking any guff.
No, 100%.
She served some incredible
100%.
rockets. She wouldn't pop to anything, and honestly, shout out to you, sister. That was some incredible play.
Yeah, and again, like Seeds, 1 death throughout the whole thing. Yeah, it was a 5-0. His team was in control for most of it, but there was some fantastic work from, like you said, both medics. But, really, I think so much of it comes down to Salentis just seems so alone in terms of trying to get anything done. And, in that Ali versus Mentalex, demo fight, No offense, Menti, but Ali just won every single engagement in such a dominant fashion. So
I kept feeling like the whole time, every time, Salentis would jump in on his own, and all I can hear is, "I can't be your hero, baby." You know,
he just jumps in.
He
he's
believes
like,
in himself.
In his head, he's got like Bonnie Tyler going on. He's just like.
No, that's Enrique Iglesias.
No. I was doing the Bonnie Tyler one.
Kiss away the pain.
No, because Bonnie Tyler needs a hero, and that hero is Enrique Iglesias.
Holding on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right, well, either way,
Salentis
Salentis is the hero, and he's trying very hard, and, shout-outs to him as well. You definitely saw him doing everything he possibly could, pulling everything out of his pocket. Here, the crits in Z at the end there, trying to pull something out of their pocket.
There's a world where that's a 4K with one rocket.
Oh, absolutely.
There is a world. It wasn't
especially
this
with
world,
Salentis.
but there is a world. Yeah. Like,
but the problem is it was against Seeds, and Seeds has the quickest pop button, evidently.
Apparently, yeah, he has like the fastest right mouse button in the world. But so this isn't going to be it entirely for Weebtunnel Tactics. They will still have, I believe, a second best of 3 tomorrow morning to win to kind of keep themselves in the tournament. But this is going to be Feint going through, fairly comfortably. Two maps is there. They're going to be okay. But this will be the end of our casted games coverage for today. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be handing it to in just a couple of moments. I don't think we're going to leave you with us because that would just be
very depressing. We're not very exciting.
I think we're very exciting. But we have some equally exciting hosts who, I've got Grumpy Coy just smirking at me.
They may have had a few beverages of an adult.
He's got his eyes closed, but he's having a little smirk at me.
What's up, my boy? You want to talk about video games?
So anyway, absolutely nothing's happening to the side.
Hello.
Hi.
We're here.
Thank you for reading the sign.
We're here. We're alive.
Oh God, smacking the microphone.
Professional gamers.
Yeah, professionally hosting this stuff. I've actually now got a shirt on.
Yeah.
I don't think people may have realised that I've actually changed clothes.
Yeah.
It's quite
proper dapper.
I've still got it down
there. It is.
There, but yeah. No, that was fantastic. We had Weebtunnel Tactics versus Feint Gaming. Feint won both maps. Quite convincingly, to be honest. Even though I was asleep, I used my special techniques of astral projection to watch that game, and it was very convincing from Feint. Let's be real here. They did a really good number on poor Weebtunnels, and they just proved that they were a better team. But it's kind of, I wasn't too surprised.
Yeah.
From light analysis that we've seen, it's been absolutely fantastic from sort of the performances from all the games that we've had. We've had some very close games, some upsets that we haven't seen on stream. For example, I know we keep going back to it, but the Swift versus Bus Crew with the 3-0 to Bus Crew, that was quite a stunner. We had the absolutely breathtaking Froyo versus 7, and we've got so many games to come tomorrow. I'm so excited just to see what's gonna happen, what upsets. Commiserations to Weebtunnel Tactics. They are going into the lower brackets, but all the teams that lose these next string of games aren't out.
No,
that's the most important thing. It's like a double elimination. You've got a chance to stay in. And I think that's really important because there are a few, I'd be really sad if Quaint Gaming and Ascent.eu, ended up neither of them having a chance to play and getting further in the tournament. It'd be nice to see them to go forward. We've got people like, your classics like Froyo and 7. They're going to do really well. I believe Froyo won their first stage of the elim. So we will see that further on. But I'm quite excited for it, to be honest, Dr. Happiness.
Yeah.
But I guess we're winding things down. We're getting ready to go to sleep. But so Insomnia.
Yes.
Dealing with insomnia as an admin. How are you feeling?
I'm knackered. It's been a long and bumpy day today.
It's been interesting, I think is the word.
We had a bit of a shaky start with servers and all that.
Yeah.
And we had a bit of trouble with the bracket just recently, trying to figure out who's going where. A bit of disputing here and there. Some teams can't play their round today, so some of them are going to be playing in the morning before the stream. For example, Velocity versus Timed Out, they're going to be playing their second map before the stream, and most likely we'll be bringing you that result when we open up.
Okay. Yeah, okay, wonderful. Alongside that, I did see Froyotech on their way out, and they looked absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
Not only have they had to play like 12 hours of Team Fortress 2, but they jet lagged beyond belief. So hopefully we'll see a refreshed and active team.
Yeah, I'm predicting that Froyotech is going to be dominant in the on day 2.
Yeah.
I don't think even 7 could come up against a refreshed Froyotech.
I don't know, because they, like, 7 weren't weak in any way, shape or form. They've done a really good job. But I don't know, what's production thinking? Do we have any things we want to say, anything we want to talk about? Obviously, huge shout out to Belong Gaming Arenas for helping us set this all up and make this happen. Essentials.tf for providing the stream and providing the production for the event, and all the wonderful people watching. If you're still watching and it's 1:45, go to bed. Like, seriously, that's what I'm going to do. I know, like, some of you are hardcore gamers that stay up to 3 a.m., but come on, it's been a long day of TF2.
And we've got a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got so much packs. Like,
there are matches you do not want to miss.
Oh, most certainly. I know I keep saying it, but I can't wait. I want to go to sleep, I want to wake up in the morning, I want to be refreshed, and I want to watch more video games and watch these guys kind of duke it out as much as possible. But production, are you there? Yeah, okay. So what we'll do from here is we will sign off for today. I think that's a wonderful day 1. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but at the end of the day, we've had our last caps and we've had everything work out the way it should. And we're going to be moving on to tomorrow. So I've been Grumpy Koi. I've been joined by Dr. Happiness on the couch. And from everyone at Essentials, have a wonderful rest of your night. Get some sleep. And we will see you tomorrow for the elimination brackets. Bye-bye.